Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's something serious. Where my girls at? We ain't linked up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right.
Ooh. Where my girls at?
Cool minute. Where my girls at?
It's going down, down.
Where my girls at? It's going down, down.
All right, all right, all right. It's going down, baby. It's going down. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Michael, for the applause. I come to work every day for the applause. Yes, I do. 19 a.m. the Superstation with the Force of Friendship. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bernadette says, oh my gosh, can't wait to watch this episode. You know we're bringing it. We got a lot to talk about. Yes, we do. The girlfriend, Sabrina, Caterina, Crisette, and Gloria. We are here. 30 years of friendship. Powerful, passionate, purposeful, never Pollyannish. We talk about it all, y'all. Yes, we do. And we're grateful for this platform. We're grateful. Yes, we are. Well, it's Monday motivation, our most favorite day of the week. Sabrina Goodwin Monday is your host, and we got issues. We got issues. The Oscar got issues. Will Smith got issues. Chris Tucker got issues. The world got issues. What'd you say? Chris Rock. What did I say? Crisette?
Chris Tucker.
What did I say? Crisette got issues?
Shut up.
Oh, yeah. Crisette got issues too because she's been online. Oh, what do I have to do? What are you telling me about my phone? Can you not hear me? What is it?
Chris Rock, not Chris Tucker.
I said Chris Tucker? Oh,
yes.
Okay, Chris Rock. Well, don't give me. Okay, okay. I'm not perfect. I know, Chris, that you've been on everybody. You've been on edge, baby. I mean, like the way over on the other side. So she is like this. You better not say nothing wrong or do nothing wrong, because first it's gonna let you know how it is today, how she's feeling. You guys, it's been a minute. We've been away at conferences and speaking. We've been out of town traveling, starting to get out there a little bit, spread our wings. And so we're back live today. It's frigid temperatures. I came back to snow. I was in Houston. It was 85 degrees. Came back to snow, y'all. Snow. It's springtime, y'all. But then I didn't feel bad because so much of the country is experiencing really frigid temperatures right now. So this global warming, we just got to get it together between the pandemic and global warming and the Oscars going awry. What is this world coming to? What'd you say?
I mean, the Ukraine.
Gloria, I can't hear you. What'd you say?
Oh, I said, oh Lord. Sorry. And the Ukraine.
Oh my goodness.
The
war. Yeah, it's like sometimes, honestly, I was exhausted. I had taken a nap today. I really haven't had a nap in the middle of the day in a long time. And I said, I got to lay it down. Because I got a night shift of some things I got to do. So I'm here ready for you. Thank you to our tribe. Type your name in the chat. Tell us where you're calling in from. If you're listening on YouTube, Roku, Caterina, how many different ways can they find us?
There are so many ways. They need to go to theforceoffriendship.com, click on that We Got Issues tab, because I'm telling you, it's like spin the bottle. We got 12 different ways. You have no excuse. Car, train, plane, automobile, you can listen to We Got Issues because you got issues everywhere you go. Okay, out of the country, in the country, don't matter.
Exactly. You guys, we got a serious sister on with us, a new member of our tribe, Monica Cost. She is the boss. She is the president of the Core Value Company. I mean, she is talking living an authentic life. And I think she's going to be a perfect guest for all that we've got to talk about today. She is going to bring it. She is wonderful. She's an author. And so we're going to bring her in just a minute. But girlfriend, say hello before we get into our hot topics and bring our guest in. How are you, Caterina, out there on the West Coast?
It's a lot. It's a heavy day over here. I am caring for my mom, caring for my doggies, just all kinds of things that are happening, and supposed to be in Chicago, but decided to stay back here. And it's raining. You know, we never can complain about rain in California because we need the rain. We really need the rain. But after being in LA and it was 85 something, degrees, Gloria, it was beautiful. And now it's dreary and you really have to, I had to check my, sometimes you just have to check you have to make a decision to be joyful because it's enough stuff to be sad about, right? It just is. So I just literally went in and gave myself a crown adjustment, like I choose to be happy. I choose to. So It's a lot. It's been a heavy Monday today, just already. And it's only 3:00 in California. So it's good. Wow. And I will tell you, this is therapy. We got a lot to talk about. Let's talk about it.
Yes. Gloria, you had a fabulous trip to California. You were out there with the rich and famous on the big screen, the big stage, looking amazing. Oh my goodness, tell us about that.
Let's talk about planes, trains, and automobiles, y'all. We all been everywhere. We have all been everybody. Let me tell you something. If you listening to The Force of Friendship, you looking at 4 women that held the mic this weekend. We held the mic up close. We held the mic out far. We held the mic next to some people. I was excited to be on the celebrity panel with the likes of some big name people. Okay, let me just tell you my moment. I sit next to Julie Chen. And we were talking, and she was asking a bunch of questions about myself. And then I told her, I just graduated. And she said, well, how old are you? I said, 65. She said, what? She said, what? I had you at 42. I was like, girl, you my best friend. For real, you my best friend. So that was my moment. I had a fun time with outfit changes. It was just, let me tell you something, y'all. Women are out here. Women are wanting to get motivated. Women are wanting to get inspired. Women are looking for wisdom. So when we bring it to you passionately, purposefully, not Pollyanna, I can't even tell you. And there's been so much conversation today. Caterina hit it right. There's so much to be sad about. There's so much to be challenged about. And there's so much to be grateful for. I'm looking in my house and looking outside. There was a snowstorm 6 hours ago. Now it's sunshining and gorgeous. So it's just all kind of stuff that's wrapped up in today. I'm ready for today's conversation. Woohoo! Lots to talk about. Oh my goodness. Are we going to talk about the dresses? Are we going to talk about the men? Are we going to talk about the abuse? Are we going to talk about books? What are we going to talk about today, Sabrina Goodwin Monday?
We got it all. Say hello to the people, First Lady Crisette.
Hey, everybody. I mean, Gloria is bringing the excitement. I'm like, whoa, she wired. What did you have before you came on the show? I mean, she is ready for this show. We love your energy. Well, I'm excited to be here. Of course, we had a whirlwind weekend, went to a conference, had not been together in 2 years at this conference. And I mean, just to be together. And I'm going to tell you, it wasn't a lot of masks that were there. I mean, people were hugging and doing the things that we were doing before the pandemic. And I just prayed. I said, it was so funny. I said, well, as soon as I leave here, go straight home and take your COVID test, because I threw every precaution to the wind. It's just some things don't mix when you talk about being in person and COVID. But you guys, I'm thankful. Right. I feel fine, no problems. But it's so exciting to see so many of you that are watching us live on Facebook. We got Dorothy Matthews and Keith Harley is watching. What's up, Keith Harley? We have Audrey Patterson live from Cleveland, Ohio, is with us on today. Oh my goodness, they are here from everywhere. Jessica Floyd from North Carolina, and it's so funny. Karen said, "I hope y'all are fair."
She already to get her opinion in.
Yeah.
Karen is getting it in already, isn't she?
And say stuff that makes sure about the incident last night. So we're gonna talk about it.
Yes. Let's talk about it. You know what? It's so much to talk about. I'm going to bring in our guest, Monica Cost, because she is an honorary girlfriend. She is part of the tribe. She fits right in with us. She's my Sarah, Monica Cost, the boss. Yes. From the Boston, Massachusetts
It's so good to be here.
Yes.
Shoulder out. You know she ready for us. She got a shoulder out. She ready for us.
Yeah. She's girlfriend.
Lot of hair.
Yes. Let me tell you a little bit about Monica. She is president and chief patriot of the Core Value Company, and author and speaker. She creates value-aligned strategies for organizations, professionals, entrepreneurs, and personalities through consulting, custom content creation, workshop facilitation, and keynote speaking. You guys, she is just an amazing woman inside and out. She started her business part-time while working long hours in corporate America, having worked in finance, human resources, and commercial real estate for 17 years. She has firsthand experience on what it takes to create sustainable change for professional success while attaining personal fulfillment. She has created a powerful link between one's core values and improving the human connection. Having abandoned societal expectations. Somebody abandoned societal expectations last night on that stage, right? Okay, so she abandoned societal expectations for a journey for her authentic life. She's equipped thousands with the ability to move towards overall life success. Get ready for a new perspective. We're going to learn a lot more about her as we go into the show. But Monica, we welcome you. We welcome you to the Voice of Friendship.
Thank you. It's so good to be here.
Yes. So Monica, you know, it's the hot topic, and we're going to right in. We all know that the Oscars, amazing fashion produced by amazing, for the first time ever, the Oscar awards were produced by an African American man, first time in history. Lots of firsts last night. But then we saw a first slap of a host by an audience member in 96 years because he was offended by the comment. Guys, you must have been living on a rock if you don't know that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock in the face hard because he made an offensive remark about Jada, his wife's hair. So let's open it up, girlfriends. They said they want us to tell the truth. They want our perspective. Who wants to go first? And Monica, feel free to join in this conversation before we learn more about you. Go ahead, Chris. You got both hands up and feet in the air. Go ahead, Crisette.
Okay. All right. So let me preface my comments by saying I am a Will Smith fan. I absolutely love everything that he's been in. If Will Smith is in a movie, I'm buying a ticket. Okay. Literally, that's probably one of the main reasons I was watching the awards last night, because I was on pins and needles saying they better give him an Oscar. They better give him an Oscar. I mean, for King Richards, I was like, oh yeah, he's the man. And I promise you, the slap that was watched and heard around the world. When I saw that, I promise you, the first thing was I was so embarrassed. And you know how we are as Black people. We take on the actions of what other Black people do because we feel like we represent everybody. Now, I'm not saying that's what we should do, but y'all know when something go down and the news come on and somebody kills somebody, or it's a horrible accident or a mass shooting, the first thing you say is, Lord, I hope they're not Black. Please don't let them be Black. Right. And so I just felt it was so disrespectful. And I was just thinking and literally I said, Will, you're so much better than that. I mean, to me, he's always come across as a classy guy that understands emotional intelligence. So I was a little confused as to why he did it, because it's appeared that he laughed at the joke. So I'll end here and just say, my respect level went down for him. And believe it or not, my respect level went up for Chris Rock. Now, people talk about his joke or whatever, but what I will say is, number one, that's what comedians do. Number two, the joke, yeah, she has alopecia. Had she had cancer, I would have been like, you know what, that was totally offensive. But I don't think, and everybody's opinion is different about the joke, I don't think that joke was so offensive that you go and that's a black on black crime was committed last night. So I could go on for the rest of the show, but I'm going to decrease for the rest of you guys can have something to say.
Go, Monica. Monica, we'd love to hear from you. Monica, we got a break. There's the music. Okay. That music comes fast. Audience, don't you move. We got a lot to say. We got issues. We want to be about solutions. We'll be right back. 19 a.m., the Superstation.
It's going down.
We're back. We're back. Oh my goodness, we are back. Yes. And we are back with Monica Cost out of the Boston, Massachusetts area. She has her own firm where she shifts people. She changes the narrative. She wants you to live authentically. We are talking Oscars. We are talking Will Smith, Chris Rock, Jada Pinkett. Monica, what do you have to say to us right now?
As a matter of fact, somebody just said it in the comment section. And it's this notion that people are assuming that Chris knew she had alopecia. And for people who follow Jada, which I don't, I think she's beautiful, but she doesn't show up on my timeline. I didn't know she had alopecia. As a matter of fact, over on TikTok, somebody made a joke that she was filming G.I. Jane 2. I thought it was real. And then she did this other TikTok where she had these combat boots on. So I said, oh, she's on set. So when I heard what the joke was, I was like, well, is it terrible to compare? Because Demi Moore looked amazing and Jada Pinkett looks amazing with her short hair. So I was a little bit confused about why it was such a terrible joke. But when you add alopecia in it, he's still a comedian. But at the same time, we wouldn't be having this conversation if there was nothing medical related to it. But I don't think he knew.
Bottom line is, if it had been anyone else, they would have been escorted out of the Oscars. So that is, we talk as African Americans, we are so quick to point out when someone gets favorable attention because of who they are, because of status and so forth. And as I'm with you, Chris, I love me some Will Smith, but anyone else would have been escorted out. That's just the bottom line. I will say this, to me, we talked about it early on. Jada won Best Dressed for real. And every show I looked at today where they were talking about the dresses, I don't even know who designed her dress, because you think about all the people who lost out because of what he did, that you're not talking about who designed her dress. We're not talking about this. And I suffer from alopecia, Monica, and I didn't know she had alopecia. I know, Sabrina, my girlfriend, she's the one who's in the know. If Sabrina didn't tell me, I didn't know, because I catch Red Table Talk every once in a while, but I also didn't know. So I felt that way too. Joy Behar said that, it's becoming more and more. Someone said it on TikTok too, that it's getting to the point as literally you have to vet your comedians have to vet their jokes so much more. They said if you pulled Ed Murphy stuff, Richard Pryor stuff, and even a whole bunch of white comedians, 99% of everything they said would be so off color, you'd get kicked out, wouldn't get invited to nobody's party right now. So he was wrong. Bottom line, period, the end. All the way wrong.
Go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to say, and I'm reading some of the comments, and of course, everybody, this is one of them passionate topics. And, everybody is saying, oh, he was at his breaking point. He was this. That is still not an excuse for violence, people. Everybody is on edge. So because you're on edge, gives you the right to perpetrate violence on somebody else. Everybody, you don't know who else was on edge sitting at the Oscars. So and then some people's like, well, I think he was still being in character of King Richard. Stop with the excuses. And that's part of the African American, culture that just really gets to me, is that we need to own our mess, call our people out when it's mess. Does everybody have issues? We absolutely. So let's deal with it, and then we can move on. But to sit there and say, well, he was protecting his woman, and he should have. That's wrong. It was wrong. It was wrong yesterday. It's wrong today, and it'll be wrong every single day afterwards, because violence. He could have been arrested had Chris Rock taking it to the next level. So don't give me he was on edge. I'm on edge right now.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to say this. I want to say a couple of things. I want to say I am totally surprised if Chris Rock did not know she had alopecia. Totally surprised, because you do not walk out on the Oscar stage, I don't believe, that someone has heard your vote, your jokes, like a lot of people. So his circle, somebody in that circle should have known. But I think even had he known that, just like you said, when you go back and hear comedians, they will say things that are funny. They will say things that are hurtful. They will say things that are really damaging, but they still go forward with it. Number one. Number two, had he been a white comedian, I bet Will Smith would have not got out that chair and gone and stepped up there and done another thing. Number three, Will was super wrong, but that statement that he said that love will make you do some things, when coming from a domestic violence background, that is the worst thing he could have said. That's the worst thing that he could have said, was to justify what he did under the title of love. That was just, so I personally think he snapped. I'm not giving him any excuse, but I think he snapped, because if anybody would have been prepared for the acceptance of the Oscar speech, it would have been Will Smith. He goes everywhere prepared. When he got up to that mic, he was all over the place. His head went nuts, crazy nuts. And he, I heard somebody said that, he looked at his woman's face and she started crying. You just do not walk up there and take the whole race down. And I'm sorry that the race is on your shoulders, but you just don't. My thing, I talked to my sister today. I said, you know what? There's somebody that's Black walked into a bank to get a loan for their house, and they were turned down. We don't want them in our neighborhood. I don't care how much money they make. I don't want them here. I'm telling you, to me, it's that painful. I feel bad for both, prayed for both of them. But seriously, no excuse. Very sad.
Yeah. I also think that had this not been Will Smith, how would we look at this, right? So are we opening the door for this to just be randomly okay? So somebody says something about your spouse or your girlfriend. So now all of a sudden we're excusing it because in the name of protection, we go smack or punch people. Like, what are we doing? We have to apply it to all or to none. And it would have been a great opportunity when he saw her crying to lift her up and to tell her how beautiful she looked and to pull Chris aside after. Because had that joke gone on, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. There'd be a few people saying, oh, that was messed up. And that would have been the end of it. We would have moved on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I
brought up
think it was Go ahead, Caterina.
Sabrina.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I immediately brought up to the girlfriends in the girlfriends chat. I said, for someone to have an open marriage and for them to have made fun of your open marriage, and then for you to get that upset, I really agree with you, Gloria. I think he needs a mental health check. There's something, even people that you respect that are successful, that are, mentally balanced in some areas. It just something is not right. But that is just interesting because they're so open about everything. And then
let's go to the phones. Let's go to the phones, you guys. We got a couple of callers. We got to get them in here. Callers, are you there? Thank you for calling 313-778-7600. What's your question or comment? Hey, good. How are you? Great.
Good. This situation makes it bad for Kanye. They're going to say, now, see, that's why we don't want Kanye at the Grammys.
You want to expound on that? How does it make it bad for Kanye?
They want Kanye to come to the Grammys, but they don't want him to perform.
Wow.
Because of what we were saying about Chandler's boyfriend.
Oh, okay. About Pete Davidson.
Right. So I was saying by this happening, they would say, now see, there you go. This is what we're saying.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys remember when Kanye West ran up on stage when Taylor Swift was accepting her award? And and guess what? That was bad. We didn't think it could get any worse than that.
You're like, it can't, and then you let him have not a pass, but you're like, he has some stuff going on. And believe it or not, you can honestly say that Will Smith trumped Kanye West. Unbelievable. He was.
And then he looked over at Jada, and she gave that look that you sisters can give.
That was nice. Well, thank you for calling. We got issues. We are here every day, Marathon. Thank you for being one of our all-time callers. Very consistent. We appreciate the value that you add. Thank you so much. Let's go to our next caller. Caller, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you for asking. How are you?
Good.
Okay, so my comment is this, and if tomorrow morning or next week we read in the papers or hear the news that Will Smith shot himself or committed suicide, then everyone will go back and rethink the comments they're making. And in my opinion, which none of us really know what was going on through his head, but it seemed like a lot. And we do know that family struggled with a lot of issues. And it could not have happened to two very seemingly mild-mannered people, what happened last night. And that was with Chris Rock and Will Smith. And Will Smith seems to be a person who tends to, I'm not going to say have it all together, but he presents himself well on most occasions. But it seemed like there was a lot going in his head. Even when he went back and he was crying and he apologized and then he laughed. That is a nervous laugh. And a lot of times when people, they don't know when they're stressed or they have a lot going on and they do not know how to process it, sometimes things can come across, oh, they're laughing. No, it's a nervous laugh. In my opinion, it was a nervous laugh. Even if we saw him smiling, perhaps he did not know how to process it. So it was a nervous laugh. And then when he saw his wife, his face looking the way she was looking, I mean, it could have been, we don't know, really don't. I mean, you know, I hear some people saying, well, they were acting. I don't know whether they were acting or not, but I do know because I do follow the red table. But there's a lot going on in that family. And I would just hope that before we get to the point where we're saying, oh, he disappointed us, you know, you don't know how you can push a person further over the edge. And so good thing he does have counseling, so I hope he does not get pushed over the edge. But I think it's a lot going on over Will Smith's head. And I think we should be a little bit more compassionate before we jump too much out there with our opinions about what we should have done or how. And Chris Rock did responded very well because you know.
Right, but let me jump in and let me jump in and say thank you so much for calling, because this is what we want, people that have different opinions. And so just like you were saying, we don't know what was in his head. We don't know what he was going through. You are also making the assumption that he was going through something. He was stressed out. He was this, that, the other. So you're assuming, just like I'm assuming, that a person of his caliber knows where not to cross the line. So everybody really is making an assumption of his state of mind, if we're totally going to be honest.
All right, there's the music. Oh my goodness. When we come back,
Monica, the expert herself on how the shift can happen. Thank you for calling in. We got issues. We'll be right back. We're back. Oh my goodness. It's hot. Everybody wants to talk about it. And we have Monica Cost, the president of the Core Value Company. She shares the evolution of her now full-time pathfinding business with professionals around the globe. She has a book called The Things I Used to Do to Sneeze, How to Live an Authentic Life. She really marches to her own beat. She says, I'm not going to go to the left because the world tells me to go left. If I choose to go right, that's what I'll do. Monica, get in. We want to lean in. Talk to us about what you do, how you do it. We've got a couple of callers waiting to be heard, but we want to know what you do, how you do it, why you decided to go out on your own and create your own path.
So I have to start a little bit at the beginning of how I even came to do the work. And I think some of this will end up returning to the conversation about the Oscars last night. When I was little, I grew up as the rule follower, the one that was expected to say please and thank you, get good grades, do the right thing. And whenever I sort of stepped out of line, like some other teenagers got to do, the adults in my life would say, oh, Monica, well, you know better than that. And then sometime around high school, I got really good at math. All the adults in my life again, oh, you should major in finance and accounting. So what did I do? I majored in finance and accounting. I graduated, I got a job, and I got married. I had children, we bought a house, we went to, all the things you're supposed to do. And all the expectations on my life were good ones. So I kind of fell into that. Well, somewhere around the age of 35, I looked up, and while people said that my life was amazing and looked really good on paper, I had this unfulfilling feeling in the pit of my belly that I had to reconcile. And what I learned was that I had been living so much into the expectations of society and other people that my life was actually misaligned with my core values. And I didn't even know what my core values were. It was just a whole new conversation. Now, in the conversation about core values, which, when I ask a lot of people, do you know what your core values are? They'll say things like God, family, work. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your preferred way of existing. For instance, some of my top core values are consideration, open-mindedness, connectedness in terms of the human connection, creativity, problem solving, variety, and options. But the way I was living my life, I didn't have a lot of variety and options, right? The way I spent my money, the job that I had, the way things were set up. And there's no way for us to check in to see if the way we've been taught to live and the things that we've been taught to care about are really the things that we do care about. And when we don't have that understanding, we experience what I call value confrontations. So what happens is I'll ask people, what are your pet peeves? And people will often give me their pet peeves. And I say, well, what's your reaction to the pet peeve? And then they tell me, I get into an argument, I shut down, And then we talk about, well, what are the risks to the behaviors of you responding to your pet peeves? And what happens is when we experience these value confrontations, it ends up taking us outside of ourselves. So for instance, I value consideration, but let's say if I held the door for someone and they didn't say thank you. In the past, I might turn around and say, oh, you're welcome. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, who doesn't mean to say thank you? But in reality, they may not care if I said thank you either. So what I had to determine is, why did I hold the door in the first place? And the reason why I hold the door is because I value consideration. Whether you say thank you or not is not the reason why I hold the door. But if I don't understand that the reason why you not saying thank you irritated me in the first place is because I value consideration, then I quickly can start behaving in ways that are against the very person that I say I am, which is not then authentic. The next thing that happens after we have these experiences with people, they create these value confrontations, we create these labels. And so, I ask people, have you ever had a time where a friend came and said something to you and they were seething, like, oh, they were so angry, and they get to the end of the story and you're like, I don't get it. I don't understand why you're so upset. And the reason is because they had a value confrontation that you didn't have, because we don't all have the same value system. And the reason why I said that this could come back to the Oscars potentially, right, is I don't know what Will and Jada's values are. I don't know what Chris's values are. But when you don't have understanding of your triggers, it's easy to get triggered. Whereas now, because I have understanding, when I experience a value confrontation, I can name it. And then I can have a strategic response instead of an emotional reaction. But you can't do that if you can't name the thing that's happening in the moment. So I ended up taking this process, which I call the value identification process. And then I created a bunch of workshops for corporations around value-led leadership, building a personal brand. So I teach it for individuals and for organizations, but it's so critical at least from what I understand, to understand our core values, because it shows up everywhere. You know, we take these personality tests, and I think they're fine, and I'll be quiet after this. I think we take these personality tests and they're great, but what happens is people say, oh, I'm a blue or I'm an orange. And so they try to act like a blue or an orange. Well, no, let's identify who you are first and then go find organizations, people, relationships where that actually aligns. But we spend so much time trying to morph into certain environments and relationships that we're confused about who we are. So then it's easy to get, you know, we're always on edge.
Yeah, Monica, that is so good. So good. Not knowing who you be and living authentically in yourself, being comfortable with that. In Will's book, and in Will's book, he clearly talked about being a people pleaser all of his life, having major guilt because he felt he didn't protect his mom over the years, that his brothers and siblings stood up to their dad and he was the only one who didn't. And he said he will forever have remorse about that. So we don't know if that triggered something in him. Last night, to our last caller, we thank you for calling. We do need to be compassionate. You know, I've had some time to process this thing. I was on fire with desire last night. I was just like, he's wrong. He's wrong. He knows he's wrong. You weren't raised like that. You don't get up in an event like that and act like that. And then I had to just take a deep breath and know that there are no perfect people, to know that he made a mistake. I do believe it was a mistake, but some people think he did the right thing. Everybody's entitled, but I don't think that was the time or the place. He was on the biggest stage. He was going to have the mic. He could have laid Chris Rock out right then and there when he got that mic and uplifted everybody else, but he didn't. And so I think when he goes back and looks back, that he would hopefully think that he would have handled it differently. So let's go to the phone lines. Monica, thank you for that valuable information. I think we all need to sit back and get a clear understanding of our core values and be okay with not being pigeonholed into one identity, you know, one label. I love that. And so we got, if they're still there, Michael, do we still have callers out there?
Yes, you do.
Okay, tell me, who's next?
Go ahead and bring Karen on the line.
Hi, Karen. Hello. How are you, ladies? We're good. Pleasantly surprised at Crisette and I think a couple other ladies that said what you said, because that, quite honest, is the truth. The interesting thing is that, you know, people are coming to Will's defense, and this is the same couple that at the end of the entanglement video said bad marriage for life. So y'all are saying that he uplifted his wife, he's coming to her defense, but they have both said, hey, they've got issues and it's their issues, but they've gone public with it. The unfair part is that people, and usually us, are assuming that Chris knew about the alopecia, and people are posting fake stories to justify Will slapping her. So I just saw something that said Chris apologized for an insensitive joke, and he apologized to the Smiths. I doubt if that's true. If it is, ladies, how are you going to feel if he knew about the alopecia and he apologized?
You mean, how are we going to feel about what Chris did?
I'm never going to think it was the right thing to do. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm never going to think Will slapping him, even if he knew. I think it'll make me feel differently maybe about Chris's choice of jokes. It won't be the worst joke I've ever heard a comedian say. I would still, you know, I would say more about it, but Will getting on the stage and slapping him.
And at the same time, you guys, we need to lift up Chris Rock for holding down the way he held it down. As much time as we're spending talking about Will, you know, Chris really stood his ground, didn't lose it, could have gone off, didn't go off, took it professionally, didn't let the police take Will away. I mean, there's so many things that he did right. So not only maybe or maybe not did the right joke, but the person that I saw from him in a very, very, very public and difficult situation, he handled it.
And what's the
And I mean, of course, she's supporting the Smiths, mainly because they're friends. But some of the comedians, I'm totally shocked that they are not at least saying something to support Chris. I mean, this whole thing has been horrible, and you know, for it to be such a legendary night. It's just horrible. And the fact that we are debating with each other, I see friends fighting with each other, already deleting and blocking each other over it. It's always the same thing with us.
Yes. Valid point. Thank you so much for calling with issues. Thank you. Here we go. Another break. It's going too fast, y'all. It's going too fast. These days, we need more time. We'll be right back after the break. Thank you for tuning in.
Interesting is the program or the concept shifted. It's spelled SHYFTID, and the ID looks like identification, because the point of it is to identify your personal area of shift. So I don't know if I would say as much what I think Will and Chris should shift, but I do think it's worthwhile for them to sit down and identify, based upon how life is going, how things went last night, how they're feeling, where they were triggered personally, because all of this stuff has to start on the inside. I know we've become a country of label chasers and finger pointers, But at the end of the day, if we're not looking inward, then we're not going to find any of the answers or the connectivity, because we're going to be too busy pointing to other people. And I think people, unfortunately, this whole, one of the things that I say is that people don't deserve labels. It's when we label a person, it prevents us from seeing the entirety of a person. So if somebody said, right, because if this was their first experience with Will Smith, they may say, oh, he's violent, or he's self-absorbed, whatever the label is that you use. We have to think about, when we label something, then how do I treat that label? So if I think he's violent, then how do I treat a violent person? So then it doesn't allow for me to see the rest of the person. So what I inspire people to do is to just pay attention to the facts, pay attention to the experience that you had, right? It's a different thing if I say, Tanya lied to me versus Tanya is a liar. If I tell you Tanya lied to me, we can work from that point. Well, what did she lie about? Well, now I have questions. But if I think she's a liar, I don't have questions. I know what I think about liars already, right? So we have to be really careful about landing.
Excellent. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Everybody is so strongly opinionated here, and we're entitled, but I love that we're having this conversation. It brings awareness. It brings better understanding. Like I said, no perfect people allowed. We hopefully know right from wrong. We want to do better, be better, have better. Seriously. And so let's go to the phone lines, you guys. We got another caller. Caller, are you there? Yes.
Yes. Hi, it's Alexandria Nicole. Thank you so much, ladies. I really resonate with what Monica is saying in terms of living in your truth, because you have to operate from a space to which you are the creator of the tapestry of your own life, right? And I feel like a lot of times we are marching to the beat of someone else's drum, and it's not until we become older that we reconnect with what it is that our true purpose is, and determining our own values in that space. So that's where we have to be self-aware. And on the external, when we're evaluating other people, that's where the grace has to come in, right? Because that is where we have to understand that everybody is operating at different levels of existence and self-awareness. Mm-hmm. So the situation is real. I look at it as in, I'm going to extend grace to everyone involved, because there was pain that happened out of the situation. There's discord that's happening. And to see that and acknowledge that, my perspective is I'm going to give grace. And label, I love it. All that does is it empowers people to be dismissive of a person as a whole. So we have to remove that need and that want to slap a label on somebody. Like Monica was saying, he's abusive, he's angry, he's this and that. Can we look at Will Smith as a man who has delivered for 32 years in this very public space? You know what I mean?
Very
Everybody
different.
That's where I stand on it.
Well, yeah, we thank you. We thank you, adding value to our show today. Thank you for calling. Yes. All right. Is there another caller, Michael, or can we go back to our panelists?
Nope, all the lines are clear.
Okay, excellent. Girlfriends, we've got about 2 or 3 minutes. Get in here. Caterina, did you have something you wanted to add?
I wanted to say, and maybe Monica knows the proper term, but
we can't hear you, Caterina.
I wanted to say, and maybe Monica knows the right term, but Will has so much, he has so much emotional investment with us. We have such a strong trust. It's like it's like a term, it's not real estate, but he has so much value that he's put in. You know, a lot of people comparing him to Kanye. Kanye has broken that trust over and over and over and over. Will is in a different place. And so it becomes much easier to show someone grace. I did just want to say how his friends, I mean, we are the force of friendship.
Yes.
And even when I'm wrong, I appreciate the fact that you as my girlfriends have my back and help me to make the adjustment. And so there's something to be said about the importance of having wise counsel in your friends. So
right.
That's what I wanted to say. He can bounce back from this because of how much trust he's built over the years.
Mm-hmm. I think that's
so
a very valid station because he's got so much with us. But his friends, to say that we bring you guys such value in what friends will do, to see his friends stand up and corner him. I don't know what happened with Chris. I hope he had friends on that side as well. But it really does show it's easy to run from someone in a bad situation or to support someone even when you disagree with what they did or what might have happened. His friends stayed up and stood right next to him. And did y'all see who his friends were that stood up for him? So that all that culture, that depth of the culture is what Will has deserved because of the 33 years.
Yes. The audience is saying that we did not get enough of Monica Call. She has to come back. And for sure, we didn't know we'd have this breaking news. So Monica, we're bringing you back, baby, so you can give us all of that because your education is necessary. Yes. Go ahead, Crisette. What were you going to say?
No, I was just saying, I definitely want to hear more from Monica.
You're having your issues today.
I was saying, I definitely want you to come back, Monica, because literally you have really educated us on the labels that we use. And so we're always so glad when we have guests who, know their stuff and they really make a difference to our tribe. And so we really appreciate you. So we definitely got to have you back when we're not talking about one topic.
But I'm glad you were here today on this topic because you helped us figure some things out and not be so quick to place judgment here, there, or everywhere. You guys go to her website, www.thecorevaluecompany.com, to find out much more about the services that she offers and how you can be better by doing what she does. You guys, her Instagram, Monica Cost _ butterfly. She's even on TikTok, y'all. She's all over the social media game. Yes. Monica, do you think, the Academy, they are deciding what consequences will be taken? What do you think should happen? They're talking maybe taking the award. What do you think?
It's so hard because he did assault and battery. He actually physically assaulted Chris Rock on the stage. So for that, if it weren't Will Smith and I were being honest, I would say yes, right? But one of the things I was going to say is in the same way that I wouldn't erase all of my best friend's actions because one thing that she did that was egregious. I mean, it depends on what she did, but I just don't think we can delete him and all that he's done up to this point. So I'm struggling on an answer.
Okay, Gloria, you think they should take the award, the Oscar?
No, absolutely not. No, he deserves the Oscar. And if it had been someone else of a different race, we wouldn't have this conversation. So we have to really reach over and remember that we have standards that he has to keep, but we have standards that we have to keep as well. No, he needs the award. He got the award. He deserved the award. He did not deserve what he did on that stage. But the award, he was the best. He was the best. And I didn't even see the other movies. He was the best.
All right, we're out of time. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll be back. We got issues. Thank you for joining us.
We sure got issues today, boy. We got issues.